What's up, everyone? We're about to kick off episode number 13, and I'll start off by saying we have a lot to cover, so I'll just get right into it. For this episode, we're headed back to Central America, and our destination is Guatemala. Our first day is going to be spent in the capital city, which is Guatemala City. After that, we'll be headed to Lake Atitlan, which is the most famous lake in all of Guatemala, partially due to the fact that it is surrounded by many famous towns that are inhabited by descendants of the Mayans. These inhabitants still practice their ancestors' traditions in many ways, including when it comes to religious practices, their local dialects, artwork, and in many other ways. To finish off the trip, we'll be exploring the old capital city of Antigua, which is surrounded by several famous volcanoes. One of these volcanoes, Volcán Fuego, is actually still active, and our plan is to hike the volcano with the help of some local guides. There's so much to cover here, so this is actually going to be a two-part episode, with Antigua and our volcano hike being covered in part 2 of the episode. I'm really looking forward to this trip, so stay tuned and we'll see you soon in Guatemala.
All right, we're here at the Popol Museum here in Guatemala City, and this is one of the larger museums in the capital. It has the largest collection of Mayan artifacts in the entire city. So since we only had one day, I wanted to check out this museum, and we're about to walk in for the first time. Let's check it out. So this museum is really cool because it goes according to time period. So it literally switches from Mayan artifacts to the colonial period where there's more of the Roman Catholic influence. And here's the room we're in right now. All right, so one of our first stops here in Guatemala City is the Oakland Mall in Zona 10, Zone 10. Right across the street from our Airbnb, so we decided just to walk over. This mall is absolutely massive. We just decided to make a quick stop here at Don Emiliano to get something to eat. It's a good steakhouse here in the mall, and then we're gonna walk around and see just how big this place is. All right, so we're here in Panajachel, otherwise known as Pana, and I chose this location as my home base to explore Lake Atitlan because it's just so accommodating when it comes to transport, accommodations, restaurants. I have 3 days, so it makes it easy for me to come back here every night and then go and explore the rest of the towns, such as San Pedro, San Juan, Santiago, San Marcos, and all the other towns around Lake Atitlan. Transport is readily available here in the form of regular taxis, water taxis, tuk-tuks. So however you decide to get around and get to the next town, you're going to be able to do it very easily from Panajachel. So we have 3 days, and we're going to try to hit as many towns as we can. We'll see you out there. All right, so we just left Panajachel and we are headed to Santa Catarina. It's only about a 10-minute water taxi ride over to this town. It's one of the more traditionally authentic towns. It's a great day to visit this place, so we decided to take advantage of it. Panajachel is a great place to stay because there's just so many water taxis available. It's just a gateway to visit the rest of the towns and pueblos that are around Lake Atitlan. So we're going to be there in just a few minutes. Actually, we're just pulling up, so we'll see you there. Okay, apparently that just led to someone's front door. So I'm gonna head back down now.
Este café es un café orgánico, su proceso es artesanal, está cultivado en lo que son las partes altas de aquí del pueblo. El especial de la casa, que es el café helado, hecho a base de lo que es un expreso con helado y crema batida, por si desean. Aquí. Continuamos. Estamos con lo que es la elaboración de nuestros tejidos. Las mujeres utilizan la imaginación al elaborar cada figura, ya que no tienen un molde o un patrón para guiarse, todo es a base de imaginación. En un centro de mesa se tardan de 1 a 2 meses en elaborarlo, dependiendo de las dificultades que contengan las figuras y de la rapidez de la mujer. En un huipil tradicional del pueblo se tardan entre 6 a 7 meses en elaborarlo, ya que contienen 3 lienzos. También aquí damos la oportunidad de que puedan vestir con nuestros trajes típicos para que se tomen fotografías de recuerdo. No sé si desea portar el traje. Contamos con lo que son la evolución de nuestros trajes. Estos son los primeros que se empezaron a utilizar en el pueblo. Contienen más lo que es el color rojo. El rojo representa la sangre de los antepasados. Las rayas amarillas que representan los rayos del sol y las rayas blancas que representan la pureza de la mujer. Las mujeres utilizan en la cabeza el listón, que representa la corona de la mujer, ya que antes se decía que las mujeres no debían de cortarse el cabello, ya que el largo del cabello representaba la largura de vida y debían de mantenerlo enrollado en el listón.
So Mayra has been giving us the tour here at the Centro Cultural, and she just brought us to the top floor, and she's concluding the tour for us.
Gracias por habernos venido a visitar en nuestro bello pueblo que es Santa Catarina Palopo. Aquí los esperamos. También contamos con lo que es nuestro tour acerca de nuestro pueblo, también con lo que es la demostración de nuestro café, y también en el cuarto salón, como pueden ver, contamos con una vista hacia el pueblo y hacia el lago para que puedan disfrutar de alguna bebida, y aquí los estaremos esperando. Muchas gracias.
All right, it's our first night here in Panajachel, and we're about to head to the Circus Bar. We've heard they have really good pizza. It's a good restaurant in the middle of town, and we're about to get into our taxi, our tuk-tuk, and they'll be here in a minute. All right, so this is the first time we've had an opportunity to explore Panajachel, and it's not a very big place. It's a town that you can explore on foot in less than half a day. Santander is the main street in Panajachel where all the markets are located, including some of the more popular restaurants. So we're out here getting our steps in, and we're gonna see where it takes us from here. Alright, so this is our second water taxi, and we are headed to San Pedro from Panajachel. And one of the things I've noticed about the water taxis is that obviously if you want to take one of the public ones, which they offer, they're going to be stopping at every town, which is going to take a lot longer to get to your destination. San Pedro is one of the further away towns from Panajachel, so it's about a 30-minute taxi ride if you go straight there. So it pays to take a private water taxi if you're in a little bit of a hurry like I am, trying to see as much as possible. So see you in San Pedro in just a few. Okay, so first stop is San Juan and then San Pedro. So we have a guide here, and she's actually gonna just familiarize us with the town a little bit, make sure we are headed in the right direction. Gracias. We're in our tuk-tuk here in San Juan, getting ready to go to the Mirador, which is a viewing platform, which is one of the best viewing platforms to see Lake Atitlan. So we're gonna head there first and then walk around San Juan a little bit. So we made it to San Juan, and our first stop is one of the famous viewing platforms here in town. Has some of the nicest views of Lake Atitlan. It's a little bit of a hike to get to the top, so we'll see you up there. So about halfway to the top on our small little hike here in San Juan to get to the famous viewing platform. About halfway up, there's a cool little restaurant. I've heard good things about it. It's a good place to stop either on the way up or on the way back. Good little place to rest. So we made it to the famous viewing platform here in San Juan. Nothing too difficult, about a 25-minute hike to the top. So just wear some comfortable shoes, you'll be fine. So not as much time as we'd like to spend in San Juan, but we at least got to spend a couple hours here, come to the famous viewing platform, and we're still gonna walk around the town for a little bit before we go to San Pedro. So we'll see you at the bottom. So we just made it to San Pedro from San Juan. It's about a 5-minute water taxi ride. So if you plan on seeing both towns, it's probably a good idea to combine them on the same day since they're so close to each other. So we'll see you in San Pedro in just a few. Alright, so we're here in San Pedro, and one of the things I've noticed about it so far is there's a ton of backpackers here. One of the reasons for that is San Pedro is very accommodating if you're traveling on a budget, and it's a great place other than Panajachel to call your home base to explore the rest of the towns around Lake Atitlan. It's also known for coming alive at night, a lot of night venues, a lot of nightlife, and it's a great starting point for a lot of the hiking trails out here, including the San Pedro volcano hike. So it's a great option also, other than Panajachel, if you're staying for several days or even longer to explore around Lake Atitlan. So it just started raining pretty good here in San Pedro, so we're gonna actually cut our San Pedro trip a little short and head back to Panajachel. We already were told that the weather was gonna start to get bad at this time, so we'll try to get back before it gets too bad. Alright, so our last day here on Lake Atitlan. And one of our last water taxis probably of the trip. We are headed to Santiago from Panajachel, which is about a 30-minute water taxi ride. We will see you there.
Bienvenidos a Santiago. En mi idioma maya, aquí, Sutujil, bienvenido es Utzlajkulik. Nosotros acá tenemos 60,000 habitantes. Este es el pueblo más grande que hay en el lago. Y acá estamos subiendo por la calle principal, donde tiendas de artesanías, textiles, arte en madera, lo que es pintura, todo esto los hacen acá en Santiago.
Okay, our first stop here in Santiago is the location of Maximon, which is a deity here in Santiago, and apparently he's very fond of offerings, so we got him the native Guatemalan drink, Quetzalteca.
Ok, entonces bienvenidos a la cofradía de Santa Cruz. Está Maximon adentro, vamos a pasar adentro. Muy bien, aquí estamos con Maximon. Acá en la imagen, este es el Maximon. Ahora, que está allá en la caja, este se llama Santa Cruz. Estos son los que están acá, son santos católicos. Ahora es una mezcla entre maya y católica. Acá, en esta Maximon está en una casa, no está en un templo o en la iglesia, sino que es en una casa porque es una tradición de cada año lo cambian de casa. Las personas vienen acá para vienen a pedir, hacen una ceremonia maya en petición, por ejemplo, por salud, por un negocio, por protección, por cualquier cosa, vienen a hacer una ceremonia acá. Para hacer la ceremonia le dan como ofrenda cigarro o licor, una ofrenda en dinero efectivo para Maximon, o eso para la casa. En el idioma maya local le llaman Rilajmam, significa el gran abuelo, porque él más o menos tiene como existencia como 500 años.
You might have to read a few subtitles on that one, but the local guides here and the people obviously who live here are so much more, have so much more knowledge than I do, of course. And visiting Maximon is an absolute must when you're in Santiago. Off to the next spot. So one of the things Santiago is famous for are its local artists and paintings. So we just got to one of the more well-known spots here in Santiago.
Don't forget, part 2 of this episode will be coming to you very soon. This was my favorite part of the trip because it gave us a chance to visit the famous old capital city of Antigua and includes our 2-day hike of the famous Volcan Acatenango and Volcan Fuego. This hike is considered the most difficult volcano trail in the entire country and should be an awesome way to conclude our Guatemala adventure. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notifications on future episodes.